We're going to start on page 115 in grammar. So let's go there. 115. Okay. I was talking about the snow a minute ago, and I really can't complain too much because, man, it's beautiful. It is so beautiful. I cannot get over how beautiful it is up here. I live here and I still can't believe I live here. So I can't complain. All the stuff with the animals and the being stuck and, our water freezes and it's all worth it to me. It's a lot of work, but man, it's pretty. So if you guys get a chance, you want to come up to Tehachapi and play in the snow, you got lots of snow up here, lots of snow. But you probably want to wait till after this next storm today, because I don't think you're going to be able to get up here today, but tomorrow, the weekend, I know we're still going to have snow, so it is, it's incredible. So anyway, I'll stop on that. It's the talk of the town up here. Adverb clause, you guys know about this already. Hi, William. Good morning. We're on page 115, okay? Okay. This is the www.asia.b clause. You already know about this. We use it in our writing. We've been marking it here in the book. When, while, where, as, since, if, although, because. I know you guys already have that memorized. We've been talking about that a lot. Well, there's more. There's more than just Asia. And we have a new set of words now that are part of the adverb clause. And here they are: after, before, until, unless, whenever, whereas, and than. A new set to memorize. The only bummer is they didn't give us a handy dandy acronym to help us remember these. But the good news is I have a student in my other class that came up with something. Kaden, did you want to say something?
Will those be used also for the writing or just for grammar?
Great question. Thank you for that. And yes, you can use these for writing. Even though it still just says www.asia, you can still use these. This is part of it. This is part of the adverb clause. So, are you ready for the new acronym that my student came up with? Another student from a different class. He came up with TAB woo woo. Yes, you heard me right. TAB woo woo. So, if it's T is than, A after, B before. So than, after, before. That's tab. Woo woo. Whenever, until, whereas, unless. Woo woo. Okay. So, hey, if that helps you, use it. But if you have a post-it note with you right now, go ahead and get a post-it note out. We're going to mark this page because this page will probably come in handy. And here it is. I'm going to call this adverb clause, but then I'm also putting on my sticker here, my post-it, tab dot woo woo. Put it on the side that's not sticky so you can stick it past the page there. Tab woo woo. So when you're doing your grammar homework and you're like, I don't see www.asia.b, it must be another word. You can come back to this page and see if one of these words are on that. Okay, that's the plan. So tab woo woo. The Asia one is still the most common, I will say that. But you never know. So let's stick it. I like to put it, you guys know this. I put it at the top, past the page, so it's sticking out. Here's your example. The stranger would cross unless Robin stopped him. So now we have unless. That is a woo-woo word. So now it's an adverb clause when you're going to mark it the same way with an AC and subject verb pair in the middle. Remember, they always have a subject verb pair. Robin stopped. So that's how you'll mark it. And then down here, they want to show you a big list. This is a nice list to come back to as well. You've got your adverb clause words now with both lists and your prepositional phrase. And the reason why they put this together right here, you can already see all the words in bold. Those are on both lists. So, I've always told you English is really next to maybe Chinese, it's probably the hardest language to learn, even though you guys already know it from when you were little, but still, this is one of the reasons because words change all the time. So we've got as, since, and because, after, before, until, all those are in bold in your Asia list or your adverb clause list. And they're on this list right here for the prepositional phrases. We have after, as, and then we have because of. Remember, that's when it's a prepositional phrase when it has of next to it. Before, since, until. So they're showing you both lists just so that you can be aware. You have to look at what words are around it. So remember the rule, if it's a clause, it will have a subject verb pair just like this, okay? So just know if you see one of these words and it has a subject verb near it, then it's a clause. If it does not have a subject verb near it, it's probably a prepositional phrase. And here are the two examples at the very bottom. The adverb clause, before they met, Robin won every fight. So you can see subject verb pair right here. They met. The verb is met, subject is they. So this is an adverb clause, before they met. Look at the prepositional phrase, before the fight. Robin was undefeated. So before the fight, no verb there, even though fight sometimes is a verb. English makes my head spin, really, it does. But in this sentence, because of the word the, that's the article the, fight is a noun, the fight. So this is a prepositional phrase, before the fight. All right, clear as mud, right? All right, we got this. Totally got this. Okay, you guys are going to be total grammar experts by the time we're done with this class. All right, let's see. Kaden, could you read the sentence today, please?
After an hour, neither had budged an inch. Both stood where they had begun.
Nice. Okay, budged is our vocabulary word. Just meaning like move ever so slightly. Just budge just a little bit. Go ahead and go down the list now. We'll start with articles. Go ahead and find those. Hey, it's not the this time. It's a miracle. Next is nouns. How about Camila? Where are the nouns? Are you there? I can't hear you. Weird. I see that you're talking, but I can't hear you. I don't know what's going on. Try your microphone, like see if you make sure you select your computer. That's weird because I heard you earlier too. Hmm. We'll come back to you, Camila. I'm not sure why it's doing that. How about JC? Where are the nouns at?
Hour
Yes.
and then inch.
Yes. Good. And those articles are a big clue for those. How about the pronouns, Harmony?
Okay, color. Both.
Both is a pronoun. Good.
What else? Tell her what you have written down.
Neither.
Yes. Good.
They.
And they. Good job. Those are different ones, neither and both. We don't see those very often. But you're right. They're referring back to the sentence before. Whoever was in that sentence, probably the Robin Hood and strangers or whoever's with him there. Good job. I'm going to skip prepositional phrase for a second. So how about William, the adverb clause? See it?
After an hour, Peter had budged an inch.
And actually, even though after is one on our new list, that because it's after an hour, that's a prepositional phrase. Remember, you have to look to see if there's a verb near it. So it's not that one. That's not you're looking for adverb clause, right? So, because I skipped, well, we might as well underline that because we just talked about that. That's a prepositional phrase. So how about the adverb clause? It's actually one of the original Asia words this time.
Where they had begun.
Yep, there it is. Good. See, they like to trick you. They go, oh, by the way, here are the new adverb clause words. But just kidding, we're going to use an old one first. Just watch out for those new ones on your homework pages. How about let's do subject verb next. What do you think, Kaden? Subject verb.
Neither
Neither's a subject. What are the verbs?
had budged,
Nice, good.
and then both stood.
Both stood, good. One more, set.
Is it where or is it they?
It's actually they in this one. So they, and then what did they do?
Had begun.
Yep, you got it. Good job, Kaden. Main clauses. Camila, is your mic working yet?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I got you now. Okay. So you got the main
Just wondering-
clauses.
Whenever Olivia does the class on this laptop, she uses headphones. So I tried using the headphones this time.
Oh, okay. That's what it was. Okay. How about the main clauses? There's two of them.
Neither had budged an inch.
Yes, that's one.
Both stood where they had begun.
It's actually just going to be both stood, not including the adverb clause. Both stood.
Oh.
All right. And then we've got, before we find the openers, there's a comma rule, and then we have two end marks. So JC, can you do both of those? Like, what is the comma rule, and then where do the end marks go?
We take out the comma after inch and replace
Yes.
it with a period.
Yes, good. And the other one's just at the end. That's right. Okay, so these are two main clauses back to back. That's why we need a period between those two. End marks, comma. Now we've got two openers. So Harmony, what are the two openers?
What?
Number 2.
Number two, yes. What opener is that one called? It's number two.
What is it?
What it's called?
A prepositional.
Yes, good job. And the other one?
So number 1.
And number one, which is
What kind?
A subject.
yes, awesome. Number one, subject. Very good. And then we're going to indent capitals. You guys can do that. Okay, cool. We made it. All right. Nice job. And we've got, watch out for those Asia words or the tab woo-woo coming up on your homework pages. Any questions about grammar so far? No? Okay. Good job. Let's move on to your history book. You guys were writing about your hopes and dreams. I hope you guys had fun with that one. A little more creative style writing, and thinking about your future. And like I said last time, this is fun to think about because, you're young, you've got a lot of life left in your life, and it's exciting to start thinking about, gosh, what do I want to do? What do I want to be? Where do I want to go? And it's so cool as a young person to have so many options out there. This is a good exercise to start thinking about those things. And by the way, you'll probably notice it'll change too, and that's okay. Like maybe when you were in kindergarten, it's funny in kindergarten, the teacher always asks, what do you want to be when you grow up? And it's like, a doctor, an astronaut, and then you get a little older. You guys are a little older now. You know a little bit more about life, and you're like, okay, maybe I don't want to be a doctor, but maybe I do want to work with animals or something. It's kind of neat to see how your life evolves as you go along. So I'm just excited about that for you guys to be able to think about your future. And you know what? I knew I wanted to be a teacher. This is kind of rare, but I knew I wanted to be a teacher when I was in junior high. I know some of you are in junior high. And I knew then, that long ago, that I wanted to be a teacher. So you never know. Maybe your hopes and dreams right now that you have will actually be what you will be in the future. So it's cool to think about that. All right. We're going to start on page 206 first. And we're going to talk about your paragraphs in a minute here, but I want to jump right into this lesson first. We're talking about a new structure, although you guys have had this before, so it's not super new to you. But we're talking about the introduction and conclusion. So you already wrote, I said 3 paragraphs, you wrote 2, so don't worry. If you only wrote 2, that's all you were supposed to write. 2. This is going to be a 4-paragraph paper. Okay, you got 2 body paragraphs with 2 different hopes and dreams that you have. And we're going to focus this week on the introduction and conclusion. So I'm just going to read this little paragraph here. Now that you have completed the body paragraphs, you're ready to add the introduction and conclusion. Look at the model below and notice the components that make up the introduction and conclusion. These 2 paragraphs are not about specific topics. Therefore, neither contain topic or clincher sentences. Both paragraphs follow their own unique structure. That's something I want you to remember. Your 2 body paragraphs that you wrote last week, those have topic clinchers. The structure of the introduction paragraph and the conclusion paragraph are different. It's not going to be topic clinchers like you're used to. So in the introduction, these are the things you're going to talk about. Attention getter, and I have some ideas for you on that. Background, and then state topics. So rather than topic clincher, you're just going to write your topics. That's what that means. Almost like a list. Because remember how I used to tell you the introduction tells the reader what you're going to say. Your body paragraphs say what you're saying. And then your conclusion is saying what you already said. That's a lot of saying in there. So that's the way the pattern goes, though. Feels like you're repeating, and you are. So here's the body paragraphs are in the middle here. And then we've got, this says 4, Roman numeral 4 is the conclusion. Restate topics. So you're going to tell them what you already told them again. And then most significant why. That's important in your last paragraph to wrap it up, to give a pow. Like, this is the most significant thing that I want my reader to remember about me. And then your last sentence, your very final sentence, that's where you come up with your title. So a couple things happen in the conclusion part of your paper. So we've got some sample paragraphs that we're going to look at next. And it just basically says the introduction must get the reader's attention by enticing readers to keep reading. That just means you want to hook them in. Sometimes they're called a hook sentence. You probably heard that before, like when you're fishing and you got a hook for the fish and you want the fish to be attracted to that. It's the same type of a concept with your introduction paragraph. You want to hook the reader, you want to draw them in. It also introduces the readers to the subject of the paper and states the topic. So, like I said, telling the reader, this is what I'm going to tell you. The conclusion reminds the readers of the topics and indicates what is most important about the subject and why. The conclusion also brings finality to the paper, closes it up, wraps it in a nice package. It is important that the conclusion follows smoothly from the final body paragraph. Since you have just written the body paragraphs and the details are fresh in your mind, you will outline and write the conclusion before you write the introduction. So we do it a little bit backwards for a reason, and that's one of the reasons. But honestly, the introduction paragraph is the hardest one to write because you're trying to figure out, how am I going to draw in these readers? Okay, so let's flip over and talk about the conclusion. Here is the template you're going to use for your conclusion. This is page 207. Write a sentence or two about each topic. So that's the first part. You only have 2 topics. You only have 2 body paragraphs, 2 different dreams. And you're going to restate those here, reminding the reader, this is what I just told you. Try to convey the main idea of each body paragraph. In other words, reword the topic sentences. Highlight or bold the topic keywords. So let's start here for a second. I want you guys to all think about your body paragraphs that you wrote last week. Hopefully everybody had a chance to do that. You had 2 hopes or dreams. You can call it either a hope or a dream that you wrote about. And think about what those 2 things are. I know some people were sharing last week about going to Japan or going to another country. That was a dream, a hope, or maybe being a famous writer or a famous actor. So think about what your 2 hopes and dreams are, and then I want you to just list your keywords from that here. So if and maybe, you know what we could do is take a minute and put it in the chat. That might be kind of fun for us to see that. Go ahead and put in the chat right now. If you know how to use the chat, just click on that little speech bubble and type in there your 2 hopes and dreams. Like, tell us both. To be a professional football player and go to France. I don't know. Type in the chat what your two hopes and dreams are from your paragraphs that you guys wrote. Oh, nice, JC. Travel the world and own a family bake shop. Oh, that's so cool. I love it. So like your topic A, whichever paragraph you wrote first, you could put travel, world, and then one more word about that topic. And then B would be own family bake shop, actually. Oh yeah, that's right, William. See the World Cup and visit Japan, running in the Olympics and travel the world with my family. Nice. This is so cool. I love this so much. This is so cool. Oh, being a princess in Denmark. Yes, that would be so awesome, Harmony. Have you ever been to Denmark before, Harmony?
No.
No. Man, that's where they have princesses, though.
We're going to Denmark.
Are you really? That's exciting. I bet you'll meet some real princesses there. Oh my gosh, that would be so
Going
cool.
to Denmark.
Yay! I love it. Kaden says visiting Tokyo. And how do you say that word? Hokkaido? Hokkaido?
Hokkaido.
Hokkaido? Work at Bethel in New York? And Bethel, what remind me what Bethel is?
It's the headquarters of Jehovah's Witnesses.
That's right. Okay. I've heard Bethel before. Wow, and work there. That would be so cool. Man. Okay, you guys, I love this. All right, so now your topic A is whatever your first body paragraph was about. So go ahead and list your topic keywords there and list them for B as well. We're going to list 3 words here. Thumbs up after you got that written down. Okay. And you don't have to think of your sentence yet. You can do that as part of your homework this week when you have time to really think about how am I going to say this? Remember, when you go to write these sentences, don't make them exactly like the ones in your body paragraphs. You're going to try to say it a different way. So it's not every word is exactly the same, just the keywords, but you want to restate it in a little bit of a different way when you put it in the conclusion. And then let's move on to the most significant and why. So right here, what is the most important? So be thinking about this for each of your topics, your 2 dreams that you have. Which one is most important to you? And what is most important about that dream? Most interesting or most significant thing to remember about all that you wrote about and why? So think about your 2 body paragraphs. What is the thing that stands out the most to you that you really like? That's the ultimate for you. You may consider explaining why it is important to have hopes and dreams. That could be something that's significant to you. The reason for having hopes and dreams. You may tell what impact hopes and dreams have on you now or how they may impact your future. So be thinking about that, how it impacts you now or in the future. And then you may choose one of your topics and tell why it is the most significant, or you may choose something that tells the importance of the entire subject. So you got some choices there. You could really be specific about what's most important about one of your dreams, or make it more general, like it's just important to have your own dreams and hopes to inspire you. So go ahead and list here some keywords that you're thinking right now of what's most important, most significant about your paper so far. And also be thinking about the why. Why is it most important? If you need any help, let me know. Okay, give me a thumbs up when you got that. Okay. 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 Go ahead and wrap those up. And then I do want to write a sentence at the very bottom of this page where that little blank spot is, because this would be a perfect spot for you to use the word because as one of your dress ups. Or is it the adverb clause? Yeah, it would be your Asia.B. So down at the very bottom, just put a blank here and then put is most significant. Or you can use the word important right there. Because blank. And it's really important for you to make that super clear, that particular sentence super clear. Now you may have other details here that you listed for your why. You can use more sentences after that. This does not have to be your last sentence, but I want this sentence somewhere in your conclusion. And then you can continue explaining why. You might not be able to explain why in just one sentence, but this would be important for you to have in your conclusion. The other thing I want you to do is look back up at your topic A and B and find that word, or it could be one or two words or three that identify that topic. So put a box around whatever word here on these two lines that are your topics for your body paragraphs. The box is to remind you you're going to highlight or bold those. Not topic clincher. Remember, we're not doing that pattern for the conclusion. You're only highlighting or bolding the topics. Yes, Kaden?
How many sentences is it?
That is up to you, but it has to be at least 4 or 5 sentences. The hardest part, Kaden, is going to be making sure you get all your dress ups and everything in there. So, you don't have to, like, you can add more to it when you sit down to write your paragraph. Does that make sense, Kaden? Yeah, okay. You may not have enough for like 4 or 5 sentences right here, but make sure you include, you might even need 6 sentences. So just make sure you include all your things from your checklist. Any other questions about this conclusion page that we talked about? Okay, okay. Then let's move on to 208. And this is where we're going to talk about the introduction next. Remember, I told you that's the last part, the introduction. So we start an introduction with an attention getter. Start your introduction with a sentence that encourages your reader to continue reading. Create 3 different attention getters. When you're done, choose the one you like the best. So we can think ahead about this now. You've got number 1, ask your reader a question. Example, who doesn't have hopes and dreams? Who doesn't? Everybody does, basically. So you could ask a question like that. Or think of your own question. So I'm going to give you a minute to think about a question about your hopes and dreams or hopes and dreams in general. Like, have you ever thought about blank? Or who dreams about blank? I don't know. Think of a sentence a question here. Just brainstorming for a minute. Remember the question words: who, what, when, where, why, how. Like, why would someone want to go to Denmark? Well, I'm going to tell you why. Okay. Hopefully you thought of a question. If not, that's okay. You'll think of one. Number 2, write a very short sentence, a VSS. Remember, those are 2 to 5 words. Here's your example. Dreams motivate. Super cool. Remember, it has to have a subject verb. So in that sentence, dreams is the subject, motivate is the verb. So make sure it's a complete sentence. Write a very short sentence that you might use to begin your introduction. Yes, Kaden?
Can I add words to that to dreams motivate, even though there'll still be a VSS?
Yes, yes, you can. Just don't go over 5. It's okay. You can use those words. So you guys are just brainstorming ways to start your paper and your introduction. Okay. The third one, state a famous quote or fact. If you do not know one, search on the internet for a quote about hopes and dreams. Here's your example. If you can dream it, you can do it. And it was Walt Disney that said that. So that would be a good quote to start your paper. And if you want to use that exact one, you can. You can. And then what you would do is put in parentheses like they did here, who said it. Okay, so since you're finding a quote, you want to make sure to give credit to the person who said it. And that's how we'll do that with the parentheses. And I found a list of quotes. So I'm going to share my list with you on Zoom here, but I'm also going to attach this to your homework on Google Classroom. So if you like one of these quotes, you can use one of these quotes. And here they are. And the person who said the quote is after the quote. So number 1, every great dream begins with a dreamer. Always remember you have within you the strength, the patience, and the passion to reach for the stars to change the world. Harriet Tubman. We read about her. When you use these, though, make sure you use quotation marks around the actual quote. That's saying that this is exactly what they said. And then in parentheses on the outside of the quote, put their name and then the period. Okay, that's how you would do that. So all our dreams can come true if we have the courage to pursue them. That's another quote from Walt Disney. William, did you have something to say?
Oh, what if the quote has a banned word?
That's really good question. I will say this. For a quote is a quote. So it has to be exact. So I will not count that as a banned word if they use the word said, okay? Or go or went or something like that. So great question. I love that question, actually. So I won't count it because a quote is a quote. Like I said, you have to give the exact word. So if that's how they said it, that's how they said it. I'm not going to read all these today, but I will put them, like I said, I will put them on your homework. But if you want to copy down one of these right now, if you like one that you see that's short enough to fit on number 3 on your book, you can write it down. Number 3, hold fast to dreams, for if dreams die, life is a broken winged bird that cannot fly. Langston Hughes. Number 4, the future belongs to those who believe in the beauty of their dreams. Eleanor Roosevelt. These are really cool. I found them online, but I really like these. Number 7 is C.S. Lewis. You are never too old to set another goal or to dream a new dream. So if you like the idea of starting with a quote, that's how you can start it. One of these, or even check with your parents if it's okay with them if you search online for other quotes. I'm okay with that too. But please check with your parents first before just Googling. That's why I'm going to give you this document so you have something to go off of. All right, thumbs up if you got number 3 figured out. Okay, good. Okay. And if you don't have it quite figured out yet, that's okay. Okay. Sometimes it's better to finish these things when you're quiet, working on your homework later. So here we go. Down here it says transition smoothly from your attention getter to your background information, because that comes next. This may require the addition of 1 or 2 sentences. So you're not stuck to your outline only, okay? So you're going to have to really look at it and read it out loud to yourself and make sure that there's transitions between. So the background, tell your reader what the subject of the composition is about, but do not say anything similar to this composition is about blank, or this paper is about blank, or now I'm going to tell you about. Try really hard not to use those types of words in this paper. Okay, don't use those words. It's hard, I know, because that's the easiest way to do it. Simply make a general statement about the subject, then provide background information you think would be interesting or important. The background information should flow into the introduction of the topics. For instance, let me see what one of yours was here. Like running in the Olympics for Camila, maybe a background to that might be what inspired you. Maybe it was watching the Olympics and watching the runners, or just inspiring you by, I know you are part of a club where you run, and maybe you're realizing that you have a talent for running. That's actually a thing, you know. I mean, everybody knows how to run, but not everybody knows how to endure that kind of pain when you're running for a long distance. And I know you know, Camila, where you start getting your stomach starts feeling icky and you got to keep pushing through it. And, you know, people who love to run, they know how to overcome those things. For me, I start not feeling good and I'm like, I'm out. I'm gonna go do something else. So it's actually a gift, a talent. So anyway, maybe thinking of something like that as a background for you. And then topics. End your introduction by listing the topics you wrote about in your body paragraphs. You're going to list those again in the same order that they appear in the body of the paragraph. So the same order. You can write a sentence about each topic or simply list the topics in one sentence. That's up to you for the conclusion. Highlight or bold the topic keywords. It's not topic clincher again for this. You're only highlighting or bolding the topic words. So let's look at 209 now and start filling this in. So your attention getter, you wrote down some examples from the other page. You can just put a note here like use number 1 on page 209 or something. Put a note for yourself if you already have your idea figured out. Or put in parentheses quote, like you're going to copy one of the quotes. And then your background, this is where you're going to list some keywords here. Now, I'm not super strict on the format here on these. Okay, so you know how I'm super strict when you guys are doing your keyword outlines and you only get 3 words and you only this and only that. For this, for the introduction and conclusion, I'm okay if you need another word or a couple more words or extra little pictures or whatever you need to do to get your thoughts here. Okay, so it's a little more flexible on your introduction and conclusion. And then you're going to fill in your topic A and topic B. So I'm going to give you just a minute to work on this page for your conclusion. Yes, JC?
So are we writing down the stuff that we wrote on page 209 or 208?
Yes. So whatever, if you're ready to decide on one of those, yeah, you can write that down. As far as like the quote, you don't have to put the whole quote here. You can just put in parentheses like quote, and that's a note for yourself that you're going to decide on a quote later. But then yeah, go ahead and fill in what you already have on the other page, whichever one you want to do. Does that make sense? Okay. Hayden,
Sorry.
it's
What
okay.
what's what are we writing for the background? Sorry.
That's okay. That would be like what inspired you to want to do or be your dreams. So think about, like it was saying, um, whatever you think would be important to know. Like for you wanting to go to Bethel and work at Bethel, that's because you are a Jehovah's Witness and you believe that that's your calling, right? So that would be a good background thing to put, something like that. Or going to Japan, maybe you've seen videos or you know people who've been to Japan that have inspired you, that type of thing. Does that make
Got it.
sense?
Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. And then William,
For the quote, if the quotes have like a quality adjective, can you underline it?
in your outline here, is that what you mean?
No, if your quote has like a quality adjective, can you underline it?
I see what you're saying. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. You can use anything in the quote that fits your checklist. Good question. Now you guys are gonna be looking for, ooh, which one has a who, which clause, and a quality adjective? That's okay with me. I'm okay with that. Okay. And don't forget on your right here, this topic A, B, remember to just find your keywords that address your, I'm just putting in empty boxes, but you put a box around a word, your keyword that is that topic. Okay. So that reminds you when you go to write this paragraph, this introduction, you're not doing topic clincher, you're only highlighting or bolding your topics. Okay. Looks like everybody, give me a thumbs up if you're done with this page. Okay. Okay, good. You might still be working on it. Okay, most of you are done. You can come back to this for your homework. Okay, let's move on because I do want to show you page 210. There's some sample paragraphs here, which is pretty cool. So I wanted to read these with you. This is the introduction to this is an example. And they started with the attention getter, which is the quote here. Every great dream begins with a dreamer. Always remember you have within you the strength, the patience, and the passion to reach for the stars to change the world. And then in parentheses, Harriet Tubman. And then here, you don't have to write these words, by the way. They're just showing you in the sample. So when you go to write your paragraph, don't put background or attention getter. You don't need to write those in. Surely, by the way, these all have the whole checklist in here. So see how they did this. Surely we all desire to do extraordinary things. Some people's dreams strike us as a bit lofty and practically impossible. So this is a good, I think it's one of your vocabulary words actually. And practically impossible. My dreams, though, are doable. And then he or she is introducing the topic here. Because I love to travel and love to be outdoors, I want to travel across America and camp, hike, and backpack in as many of our scenic national parks as possible. So see how travel is in bold? That's her first body paragraph is going to be about traveling across America. After that, when it is time to settle into a career, I hope to become a teacher. That's in bold because that's the second body paragraph. Because I desire to be an example role model for children who learn by example. Okay, that's a sample introduction. This is a sample conclusion for the same paper. Restating the topics here. In the not too far future, I hope to pack an RV and trek through America's stunning national parks with my family. So notice how it's the same thing, but worded differently. Instead of travel, she used trek. It's a good word. Or journey, you can use a different. So you don't want it to be exactly the same as how you put it in your introduction. You want it a little bit different. And then when I finish college, I hope to powerfully impact the lives of children by working as a teacher. So see how the teacher and trek, that connects with trek and travel connect, teacher, teacher. So it's the topic again, but worded differently. No topic clinchers on these, remember? So these hopes and dreams, which give me things to aspire towards, another vocabulary word, as I think of my future, excite me. They motivate me. And then here's that most significant part. Most importantly, I know of no reason I cannot accomplish both. And here's the why. Because with a little work and determination, anything is possible. Desiring to experience new adventures, I will never be afraid to set another goal or dream a new dream. And from that, he or she can create a title from that last sentence. So use some of these examples. If you like these, I'm okay with you using some of this. I don't want you to copy it, but you can get inspired by some of these sentences that this student, I don't know why I keep saying she, but it could be a he, whoever wrote this. But you can use some of those things. Yes, Kaden?
I have to go, but thank you.
Okay. You're welcome, Kaden. I'll see you next week. We have another opener here on 211. This is a new one for your writing. I know you've been doing this in your grammar, but you have a clausal opener, and this one does not have the list of the tab woo-woo. This is the original, www.asia.b right here. So in this lesson, you will learn another sentence opener. Here's an example. When I grow up, I plan to be a nurse. I plan to be a nurse when I grow up. So they're showing you two examples here. You can't double dip. You can't start a sentence with an adverb clause and use it as a dress up later. So those have to be in two separate sentences. Just a little reminder. This is an opener that begins a sentence. So you're going to label it with a 5 and a bracket. Okay. Then the placed in the middle, it says a www.asia.b clause placed in the middle or the end of a sentence is called a dress up. So it could be anywhere in the sentence. They're just showing you the difference between those two. You already got that. Here's a space to practice later. If you want to practice an opener or one of your dress ups here, you can. Let's keep going. We got a page here. 212. This is more style practice. Use this if this helps you to think ahead of some of the sentences you want to use in your paper. Use this page. Here's a space to practice it because you've got lots of openers now. 2, 3, 5, and 6. So you can practice these openers here for your paper. I'm giving you an example of this could be your attention getter here if you like this one. And then the vocabulary. I know we always get to that at the very end of class and we don't have much time to talk about vocabulary, but I do want you to go to that page in the back or 323. This is lesson 21. And it's back here. But if you're still not sure about these words after you read this page, please look them up. I hope you have a dictionary at home. It's cool if you have an actual book dictionary. If not, check with your parents about dictionary.com. It's a good source too online where you can type in the word. They'll even give you examples of sentences you can write using the vocabulary word. So the first one is enthrall. That one's enthrall. To captivate or charm. Like if you're enthralled at something, you're enthralled about the idea of being a veterinarian. You're enthralled by that. That would be a good example. Persistent, not giving up. Persistent in pursuing your dreams. You're persistent in like I always think of Camila because a runner, you know, I mean, you're persistent and you don't give up. Keep going. Don't give up like Mrs. C when you're running. I've got knee issues and all kinds of stuff. And it's like running is not my thing. I like other things, but I always admire people like you, Camila, who love to run. That's a good thing. Persistent, emblem. An emblem is a sign or object that represents something. So an emblem of our flag, American flag, that's a symbol of our freedom, right? Or the emblem of the Statue of Liberty. That's what started this whole lesson, remember? We talked about the Statue of Liberty. You can mention that in your paper somewhere. That'd be kind of cool. That she represents our hopes and dreams in America. Elated, filled with joy and pride. Like you can imagine being elated the day that you accomplish your dream. Can you imagine what that's going to feel like? You will be elated that you accomplished it. All right, so you're going to choose 2 of those to use somewhere in your paper. It can even be, 21 is your introduction and conclusion. So you need to use 2 of these in either one of those paragraphs or one in each paragraph of the introduction and the conclusion. So lesson 20, that was your body paragraphs. So the 2 of those need to be somewhere in your body paragraphs. 2 of these need to be somewhere in your introduction and conclusion. And you mark it with VOC. All right, I know it's time to go, but look at your checklist super quick with me. Go back to that. On page, where were we? Page 213. You've got 2 separate things here for introduction and conclusion in your body. You're just going to insert those. You already did those. So make sure you follow the pattern here. You're not going to do topic clincher. Remember, you're only going to highlight or bold your topics that are listed in those sentences. Same with the conclusion. And then you've got your dress ups and boom, look at those openers. 1, 2, 3, 4. You got 4 openers now. And watch out for the band words. Watch out for those. You'll get a title this time. This will be the last part of your paper. Notice it says paragraph 1 and 4. So you're going to turn in all 4 paragraphs for next week all together. Any questions about homework or vocabulary or anything that we just talked about? All right, you guys. William had to go. See you guys next week. Have a good one. Bye. Have a good week.